Hi, I'm Bruce, and welcome to my Colorado Rocky Mountain Lab. Um, Today I've got a Aerovox Corporation model ACD23. It's a two-decade capacitor. Covers the range of zero point zero 0.01 microfarad up to 1 microfarad, and it does that in 100 steps, 100.01 microfarad steps. It's 600 volts DC rated maximum, 220 AC, and has a 3% error in its original specs. Made here in the U.S. in New Bedford, Massachusetts, using Aerovox capacitors, obviously. It's a nice looking unit, very solid. It's steel cabinet, steel face panel, good switching, and still has all, it's like got a few scratches, has all of the numbers and everything legible on it. And we're going to run it through a little test just to show you that it's still working. So bear with me, we'll hook it up. Okay, so we've hooked up the DIR EE LCR meter, and we are reading right now at 00, and we are getting a 7 picofarad reading as a residual for 00. So within the switching and the wiring, there's still 7 picofarad of capacitance there. It's going to be there throughout the range. It might change slightly because of the switch settings, but we're going to figure that 7 picofarad is there, and we'll show you the error with it, and then we'll show you the error backing out the 7 picofarad. That will, by backing out the 7 picofarad, what's left is the capacitors, and that'll give us a better idea or understanding what the percentage of error on the capacitors would be in each setting. So let's go ahead and take the least significant figure up one. So we're going to the 0.01 microfarad setting. And what we see is we are getting 10.300 nanofarads. Okay. Going to the 0.02. 20.67 nanofarads. 0.03. 29.72 nanofarads. 0.04. 39.83 nanofarads, going to 0.05. 50.13 nanofarads, going to 0.06. Let's see, 50.14. Okay, 0.06. 60.52 nano, 51. All right, 60.51 nanofarads. 0.07, we are at 69.55 nanofarads. 0.08, we are getting 79.87 nanofarads. 0.09, 90.19 nanofarads. Make it 0.2. 90.2 nanofarads. And at 1, we are getting 100.50 nanofarads. All right, we're going to take her. We got 100.49. She settled into 0.49. We're going to take her back down to 0. And we're going to go with the left hand, more significant figure. All right, I got this thing propped at an angle so you can see it, and it's just a little bit shaky. All right, we're back to the 7 picofarads, and we are going with the left dial, which is the larger of the 2 decades, going to 0.1 microfarads. We're getting 104.15 104.16 nanofarad, going to 0.2 microfarads. Oh, we got 205.6 nanofarad, going to 0.3 microfarad. 307.5 nanofarad, 0.4 microfarad. We got a reading of 394.8 nanofarad. 0.5 microfarad, we got 499.1 nanofarad. At 0.6 microfarads, we've got 600.4 nanofarads. 0.7 microfarad, I've got a reading of 702.5 nanofarads. 0.8 microfarad setting, we've got a reading of 806.6 nanofarads. At the 0.9 microfarad setting, we've got a reading of 908.65 908.4 nanofarads. And finally, this is the 1 microfarad setting. We've got a reading of 1012.3 nanofarads. 1012.3 nanofarads. All right, we're going to pump these numbers into a spreadsheet, calculate the error both with and without, or with the residual zero reading, and then we're going to back out the zero reading from all of the readings and calculate the error that way too, and that'll give us an idea of how the capacitors rate. Okay, give me a minute, we'll get back. Okay, so we got the results punched into a spreadsheet here, and what we see is here's our settings column. Actually, I can take that over to the left a little bit, that'll help. Here's the least significant decade and then the second decade. And our settings, our readings, converted our readings from nanofarads to microfarads, because that's what the settings are. So we were comparing apples to apples. And then we have our percentage error, and then our error less the initial zero setting picofarad reading. And it made a slight difference, really not much. In this range, we're up high enough that the additional picofarads picked up at zero is pretty minimal, but over the entire range of both decades, we see that we have an error of 3.35% when you include the zero setting picofarads, and that's at the second setting of the least significant decade. So a setting of 0.02, we're a little high, about 0.35% higher than the percent error maximum according to the unit. If you back out the picofarads from the 0 point, the residual picofarads, it drops to 3.32, so it makes a minimal difference. Everything else is within 3%, with exception of the first step of the second decade. We had a reading, and should have read 0.1 microfarad. We got 0.10416, so we are 4.16% in error. So that's 1% over the maximum stated error. Otherwise, everything is within the 3%. So we had two steps where we're over the 3%. In one case, it's less than 1/3% over, and in the other case, it's 1.16% over. So there's your results. I'm going to wish you happy bidding. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next time.